So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Photo Conversations, where we have conversations about photography, film, and so much more about life. Well, we are in the festive season, and I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And I wish you all the best in 2026. Today I happen to be in my natural element, and that's the wild. I like to be in the wild. I like to camp. And while I'm here, I try to reflect on my next moves, on my next steps. I reflect on what I did right, on what I did wrong, and see how best to reconcile with my own, my own self. That's why I like to come here and just have this quiet time with myself. And while I'm here, I always try to work on a video too, because that's when I actually reflect and get something to share with people. I don't like to speak when I have nothing to say, so and that's the reason why some of my videos take long to come. But anyway, straight up to the point. Today I just want to share with you something I find interesting. We all know the saying that one man's meat is another man's poison. Well, I would like to speak about this from the perspective of old cars and how, they are given a lot of hate, or how much people don't like old cars. And yet, the reasons people don't like old cars are the same reasons why I love old cars. We all know how people go around. We all know the trend now is, buy the new car from the bond, or even order a brand new 0 mileage car. No beef against that, man. If you have your money, get yourself a brand new car if you like, or get yourself a fairly new or a fairly used car, for your comfort. But some of us just love old cars, and we want to keep it that way. So the reasons why you hate old cars are the same reasons why I like the old cars. And I'll start with the first reason. Old cars need a lot of maintenance. They need a lot of repairs, and that's one of the things that people do not like. And yet, that's one of the things I like. I'm built naturally. I'm built naturally to be a builder. I like to maintain things. I enjoy being in the garage because most of the times the mechanics that work in the garages love cars, so you kind of share similar likes, you share similar values when it comes to cars. So I find myself very comfortable when I'm in a garage and having a conversation about a particular car as they repair my car. So, and the other thing is that maintenance is just a part of life. And without maintenance, life itself can't exist. Life is all about maintenance. You need to maintain your health. You need to maintain your house. You need to maintain everything else, your garden. You need to maintain your relationships. So life is about maintenance. So old cars teach you a lot about maintenance. I'll give you an example. Refuse to take a shower for one day. You'll be like, okay, I'm good. Second day, no shower. You're like, okay. Third day, by the time you get to a week, you don't like yourself anymore. You don't like how you smell. You don't like, you're uncomfortable. And that tells you something about maintenance. You need to maintain yourself. So old cars teach you a lot about maintenance than anything else in life. So I get to have conversations with car lovers. I get to sit down with people that, we'll talk about engines, we'll talk about car models, we talk about all things to do with cars. And for me, that's my pastime, that's my hobby. So now that means old cars being, the fact that they need maintenance is one thing I love. I love to maintain things. And what gives me joy is when I maintain something and I'm able to see that thing in its best possible shape. So for me, repairs and maintenance is not a problem. You don't like it, but I like it. Point number 2 is old cars are noisy and rattly. Something that people don't like about old cars is they're always making noise. You're driving and the window is making some weird noise. The suspension system is rattly when you go to like a corrugated, when you go to a bumpy road. The seats are making a little bit of noise. For me, that is not a problem. Actually, that is a sign that I need to work on something. Every noise in a car actually points to a certain ailment in the car that needs to fix. imagine a car that wouldn't make noise and then just stops in the middle of the road without warning you. So for me, the rattliness of a car is a warning sign. Maybe you need to replace your bushes, you need to replace your shocks, you need to replace your door handle, you need to work on. So for me, the rattliness is not, it is irritating in a way, but its irritation is, is a form of communication to me that, you know what, you need to fix ABC. I've seen the new tech whereby, if somebody is trying to fall asleep while driving, the car does something to the map, or maybe it will stop automatically. The new AI-driven automobiles. And I'm like, when I'm driving my old car, I don't need to be woken up because I'm falling asleep, because literally everything in the car is noisy. The engine is making a sound, it's communicating, there's feedback when I accelerate. I would say, how would you know that your car is a V8? The sound. Then how would you know your car is a 6 straight? The sound. Everybody loves the sound of, the turbo, when the turbo kicks in, it makes that whistling sound. Everybody loves that. For me, the sounds that the old cars make, for me, is a positive. I don't know about people that don't love the sounds that old cars make, but even the bad sounds point to something to be fixed, something to be repaired. Another thing that people don't like about old cars is that old cars are slow. I love driving, and I enjoy driving on a highway. And one of the things I love about driving is I'm able to see things while I drive. It's like one of my favorite drives in Uganda is driving across Mabira Forest. I want to see the trees. I want to see even the asphalt itself, the road itself is amazing to just look at and reflect. Sometimes I don't want to go fast, so the old cars serve me perfectly because they are slow. I have no problem with driving slowly. Look at that, the traffic regulations, they're always telling you to slow down, to minimize on the accidents. For me, the old car does it for me. I'm not rushing to anywhere. If I want to go somewhere and arrive on time, I'll wake up early. Simple as that. So for me, the fact that people don't like old cars because they're slow, it's a positive for me. I love them because they're slow. Sometimes when I'm driving and maybe a friend wants to come along, I'm actually usually skeptical and worried because I'm like, man, I'm going to take my hours on the road. Probably the dude wants to get to wherever he's going in no time. So for me, the slowness of the car is not my problem. If you want to get a faster car, get a sports car. Actually, there are older sports cars that are fast. Go get yourself a Subaru. Go get yourself a Supra. If you want to go fast, go get yourself, we all know the fast cars out there. So for me, being slow has never been a problem. People don't like the sluggishness. I love it because I like to observe things. So I drive slow and observe things. Yeah, that's one of the things I love and that people hate about old cars. One of the things that people do not like about old cars is the imperfections that the old car has. Maybe it has some cracks on the leather. Maybe it has some cracks on the paint. Maybe the dashboard has a crack here and there. Well, it is a point for maintenance or repair as well. But I love character. And for me, the imperfections of the old cars are a form of character. I believe that every item, whether living or inanimate, they have a story to tell. I feel like every car that you buy will tell you its history. It will tell you where it came from by just looking at it. The cracked leather, sometimes the cracked dashboard. This is all character in a way. And for me, it feels like going back in time by simply embracing the characteristics of this old car. I like things that have character, and even when it comes to other things, I would prefer to get something that has been used and proven to be efficient and proven to be durable. So for me, the cracks and the crevices and all these other imperfections of an old car that you don't like are what makes me love the old cars. So for me, the imperfections are the perfections in a way. They tell a story of a car. I don't want to buy something that has no story to it. Well, I don't mind if you want to buy brand new stuff. Well, I want something that has a story to tell. If I'm driving a Mitsubishi Pajero that is about 30 or 40 years old, I know that it has proven itself in the Dakar Rally, being the all-time champion over the Dakar Rally. It has a story to it. I'll ask you, what story does Photon have, the Chinese car? What story does I don't know? What story does Tesla have? Nothing against people that want modern tech, but the truth is, story for me is everything. When Tesla builds their story, when BYD builds their story and they become a solid car, then probably I want to buy that in future. But right now, I want to buy something that tells a story. And for me, the Mitsubishi Pajero has a good story of success in the Dakar Rally. Maybe the Land Cruiser 70 series also has a story. Someone is going to tell you, man, this has been the car that has been fueling all the wars in the Middle East and in Africa. And that's a story to tell, So for me, it's about the story. A car that doesn't have a story doesn't work for me. And lastly, some people don't like the design of the old cars. And for me, precisely the design of the old car is basically simple and functional. You don't like simple and functional? The old car is not your cup of tea. For me, old and functional is everything. Old cars are basic and functional. They have the box shape and they have simple controls. There are zero tech involved. You have knobs to control things. The new cars, you have the touch screens, you have voice command, you have sensors all over to do all kinds of work. For me, that's not my kind of thing. The design of the new cars doesn't work for me. You don't like the old cars because of their design and their imperfections. I love them because of their boxy designs. Anything that doesn't look like a car that we used to draw in nursery school, the boxes, for me, doesn't work for me, And I'll give you an example of the G-Wagon, the Mercedes-Benz, the so-called cross-country, has maintained the same shape, only changed a few things, and sold at at even a higher price. What does it tell you about maintaining simplicity and functionality? Some people pay for that. So for me, I think what you don't like about the old cars is what I like about the old cars. Thank you so much for catching this YouTube video. Catch you on the next one. Be blessed.